Ich bin hier in einer Ausstellung über Wolken und die Cloud. Und Wolken, zumindest fotografisch, könnte man denken, wären einigermaßen abgenudelt, sind sie aber nicht. Und die Cloud schon mal gar nicht. Und wenn ihr überlegt, vor allem jetzt mal über die Cloud, mit der wir heute jeden Tag eigentlich auch als Fotografen speziell zu tun haben, denken wir eigentlich immer an etwas extrem Virtuelles. Nur Nullen und Einsen. Und dass das Ganze eine gewisse Materialität hat, daran denkt man vielleicht nicht immer. Und wenn man daran denkt, dann vielleicht an irgendwelche Rechenzentren, in denen unsere Bilder oder unsere Daten lagern. Was aber wirklich die Materialität des Internets ist und wie das Ganze eben auch nicht eine rein technische Sache ist, darüber hat sich Andy Sewell Gedanken gemacht, den ich hier so neben mir stehen lasse, um euch das kurz zu erklären. Und mit dem möchte ich ein bisschen darüber sprechen. Andy, I just said, the Internet, when we think of it, the cloud is zeros and ones, is virtual, almost has no existence. And then only when you think about it, okay, there might be a hard disk in a server rack in a data center in New York or in Ireland. But you took the bigger picture. You went after this. What is the topic of your work?
I suppose, like you're saying, the work kind of began with finding out about these cables which carry the internet between Europe and America, these kind of places where the fibers of the network come together and almost everything we do online passes down these kind of impossibly narrow sort of hair width strands of optical fiber that stretch along the bottom of the ocean and connect one continent to another. I think, encountering that information felt really strange. Like there was something, because I suppose I had imagined the internet as something intangible, as amorphous, as let's say up there in the cloud. Maybe data kind of pinging off of satellites or something like that. But encountering this idea that it was kind of collapsed in this place into something very, very tangible, very physical.
The first pictures that I saw are this server or router houses. Then you showed the actual cable. You show the beach where the cable goes in the water. But then these pictures are surrounded by other ones. You said the ocean, people, even animals. And how do these fit into this picture?
I mean, I guess with my work, what I'm often interested in is bringing things into relation with each other that we often think of as separate, as sitting in kind of different categories. So I guess in this case, it's like the ocean and the internet. And like I was saying, there felt like something, the work is almost in a way about how the ocean and the internet sort of speak to each other, or speak to us. Like I was saying, they're both things which are kind of massively extended in space and time, but we can only ever experience kind of partially, although we can kind of hold the idea of what they are as a whole. We only experience them as small bits. There's always stuff which is kind of, there's always lots of whatever it is that we can't see that's kind of hidden. And I guess with the work I'm trying to, I'm looking at, I'm exploring, I suppose, these relationships, these at a kind of metaphorical level, the way that these things make us think about our bodies, about embodiment, disembodiment, and kind of power and trace and touch.
You said bringing together things. So there's this normal organic world and there's this technical world, but what you're also bringing together is the pictures on the walls, which I found very interesting, the hanging of it. Because they are arranged in not just one after the next, but different sizes, different positions. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I suppose what I wanted to do was use the space, the gallery space, the opportunities that you have to use different scale, very large images, very small images, to kind of extend or to work more into that idea of kind of interconnection. And I suppose on the wall, what I'm trying to do is get a sense, it'll create this sense where each picture, its size and its position is determined by the relationship it has to all of the other pictures in the work, and to create a kind of a sort of openness and a fluidity and a sense that within this set of pictures there are many relationships to be found between them as well as within the frame. And perhaps a traditional hang of pictures on a wall what we do is we look at one picture, we sort of take it in, then we move on to the next one. And I guess I hope with this hang that it makes something maybe a little more sculptural about it. It makes us move our bodies in space in relation to the works as well. And a lot of the work is kind of about exploring the space between things, the gaps, the things that we don't have access to, the things that are out, or not perhaps the things, but the sense that we only ever have access to a small amount of anything. And there's always these kind of depths which extend beyond and around and kind of within any experience. And yeah, I think the ocean and the internet are very good kind of, it'll show us that in lots of different ways.
You also have a book about the project, and there you're doing the same. Huh? It's different because you don't have two big walls, you have many pages.
Yeah.
But, was that more difficult or easier to present your photos in a book?
It's interesting. I mean, in previous projects, I've kind of thought about the work primarily as a book, and then for exhibitions, translated it onto the walls. And I think with this work, from quite early on, I was thinking both in terms of how, or I was aware that the book offers certain opportunities to, certain structures to kind of work that would be interesting to work with in relation to this work. With the book, what I hoped to do was to work kind of against a bit of that linearity. I didn't want it to feel like just one picture following another in a single sequence. So what I did was allow some of the pictures to sort of slide off of the page and into the next page sometimes. And so what you have, I guess, yeah, the thing that I didn't want was to have, for this work, which is about, I suppose, the way that things slide across the categories that we want to try and put them in. It didn't seem to make sense to have a book in which the picture sits neatly bounded by the page.
Yeah, it should be interesting not only to see it as a representation on the wall, but also on the book. An dieser Stelle, ich glaube, ihr habt eine Idee davon bekommen, wie, er hat ja gesagt, bringing things together, wie verbunden diese Sachen sind. Einzelne Fotos, die aber in einer Beziehung zueinander stehen. Genauso wie das Internet in Verbindung zum Ozean steht. Wie die Querbezüge sind, Dinge, die man erstmal als sehr getrennt sieht, wie ihr sie dann genauso auch wiederum auf der Wand oder in einem Buch repräsentiert, dass es Querbezüge gibt. Das ist wieder faszinierend, weil da so viel mehr drin steckt als das einzelne Fotos, sondern man muss sich das Gesamt ansehen, das einem eben auch Dinge zeigt, die man sonst gar nicht sehen kann. In diesem Sinne, schaut euch das gerne mal an, vielleicht besorgt ihr euch das Buch oder guckt mal ein bisschen auf seiner Webseite. Ihre Website?
Yeah, it's andysewell.com.
andysewell.com. Und vertieft euch mal ein bisschen, taucht mal ein bisschen ein in dieses Thema und lernt dadurch auch was über Fotografie. Vielen Dank.